Internet. It's been a long time. I know you miss me. I miss you. I can feel the love in your comments on my articles, my ancient history articles, coming through the optic fiber network. So that's good. It's kept me going. Thank you so much. Here we are at Enchanted Rock State Natural Area. And this is an interesting pink granite outcropping that they say formed just like the Earth formed. It just happened. Of course, we know that the Earth didn't form. It didn't gravitationally accrete from dust and gas. So what we have instead is something built, this granite outcropping. And you say, who's building a granite outcropping? Well, I don't know. Let's look at part of it. Okay, it's called Enchanted Rock for simplicity's sake, but there's lots and lots of rock areas. So it's lots of different rocks, but there's this one sort of largish outcropping there, and then this one's kind of probably the jewel in the crown. You can see how big this thing is because that's people on the top of it. It's absolutely massive, roundish, smooth, and you're like, well, isn't nature amazing? Isn't nature amazing to make something that round and smooth? Just decide to do it. Anyway, so we're gonna walk alongside that outcropping, and I'll show you the map right now, and we're gonna go up the Sandy Creek. And that's the goal today. See if we can find some prehistoric tunnels. Now there are some mining tunnels here as well. Old mining tunnels that no one knows the location of. Even the modern mining tunnels, the silver and gold mining tunnels, entrances are lost to legend. There might be a couple old miners who still know where they are, but I don't think there are. So, but those are not what we're looking for. We're looking for prehistoric tunnels, not tunnels dug in modern times. So we're going to see if we can find any passageways. Very exciting. I doubt that many people have looked for prehistoric tunnels here at Enchanted Rock, just 17 miles north of Fredericksburg, Texas. Now we are in the sort of the meeting point of the south, central, and western regions of Texas. Where all those meet, that's just about where we are. So we're not really in any particular region. We're just sort of in the southern, central region of the state. Just Google Fredericksburg, Texas, and we're north of that. So we're going to go see if we can find some tunnels. Okay. We're just going to walk this way and stay looking toward our left to see if we can find any tunnels in this pink granite structure. Usually what the ancients do is they will put their tunnels just above the level of the creek or the river. KTK tunnel, which is a beautiful prehistoric tunnel built into the complex. In other words, it was left as an empty space, and if you search empty space KTK tunnel, you'll find that article, and there's a couple articles on that and videos too. The ancients left tunnels as empty spaces in built structures, so presumably this structure, which I think is built, will have empty spaces left below it. The question is, where are the tunnel entrances? So we're about 25 meters above the creek. This is exactly the sort of steep hillside, happens to be made out of granite here in Texas, where we would find prehistoric tunnels left as empty spaces. This is not one of those. This is just an animal cave, if you will. And so, but it'll be something like at this level. These quartz veins, which you find in South Africa, maybe I'll insert some shots of those. Wow, here's a long vein right here. This really long one. Let me just show you that on video before I start taking photos. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So we have that all the way in there. Amazing. Let's get close in just so we know what we're talking about. I mean, a rather uniform width, you know, to this vein. And and there's a seam right next to it which doesn't have a vein of calcite or whatever this is. I think it's calcite, but could be some other material. Yeah, and then it gets even skinnier and skinnier, and gets really skinny, and then it just disappears into a vein where there is no calcite. How do you like that? Quartz veins running through. I think this is conscious. I don't think this is any kind of accident of nature. So we have crystalline granite, what we call granite, and then we have the added veins, quartz calcite. Interesting, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. So we're staying to the left of that structure, going downstream along this creek. This is Sandy Creek, and Sandy Creek has in it decomposed granite. Okay? Granite rocks there. Then you got some other material, not sure what that is, the gray stuff. But we have, as far as sand goes, we've got decomposed granite. That's it. Pink, really, really high quality. If you're building, decomposed granite is genius. You can make paths and roads actually out of decomposed granite. That, you know, then you can move it if you want to. You just stick a pick or a shovel into it and you can move it, but it'll stay there because it packs together. It's really, really packable. So this stuff is really valuable in the marketplace for building. We're going to keep heading downstream. So this is Sandy Creek. We're just heading downstream, keeping an eye out over here on the left. And I just wanted to point out that everywhere you look, you see these straight line seams. And this is also in Bosnia, this is also in South Africa. And I call them seams. The Orthodoxy would call them fractures. But you see them really, really, really straight. You know, and to me it's building. They stop their material there and they continue there. A little change could easily be natural. The change from pink to gray there. But what if it isn't? And you say, why wouldn't it be? Well, then you got these straight line seams right here. Boom. You know, that's really straight. What's the point of that? It's a vertical seam. And you say, what's going on there? Take a photo real quick. Boom. Vertical seam. You could think of this as concrete. That's how I think of it. Right there. Boom. And they just get done building, and then you got your vertical seam. You see how smooth it is along there? If it was a fracture, it wouldn't be smooth, you see? But look how smooth that is. I mean, it's crazy. And so, you know, geologists would just say, well, that's just the way it formed. It's like, well, yeah, according to your paradigm, there's another quartz calcite seam or vein. Another one there. So they got these veins running through, and you say, well, it could be that this is upheaved, and this was once right angle. So that could be the horizontal that was upheaved in 9 degrees. But then you come down here and you go, whoops, and there's another one. You know, so clearly there's something going on. There's a right angle there. And then you go over here and you go, what's happening there? There's two straight line seams there, and then this keeps going. Look at that. I mean, and then it meets this straight line seam, right? So wherever you look, you're seeing straight line seams in the riverbed rock. Same thing in South Africa. Gray material, and then you got the pinkish rocks that have come down. So it looks like the riverbed is composed mostly of gray, but here's where it changes, you know. So it's pink up there, and then slowly it morphs, and then it becomes just the gray concrete with the pink rocks that fell down. So it looks like we have a gray concrete riverbed. Here's where it morphs again. From pink to gray. So that's the gray concrete riverbed. We've got a little morphing there. This is a little bit pink. So we're going to keep going down the river. We just had a global cold spell. Really, really serious. Killed a lot of people in the northern hemisphere. It ended yesterday. And the Rothschilds keep putting chemtrails up for solar dimming. That's one purpose for these, not a condensation trail. You can tell there's a sputtering every half second or less. They sputter out, and they're putting out nanoparticles of barium and aluminum and lots of other stuff that's not good. And those nanoparticles are reflecting the sun, and they're getting in your body and your children's bodies. And guess what happens when those metals get into your brain? With what sun is left over after it gets through the Rothschild chemtrails, we're looking at this beautiful structure. We see the straight line construction. I'll just you know, keep calling it a constructed structure, because I believe that it is. There's the straight line seam, more straight line seams there, more straight line seams, the layering. So there we have one part of the structure. Here's a little gully, okay, and then behind it we have that. So here we have this beautiful pink granite, really straight seams on it, or straight edges to it, right? Now that could have been, those could have both come out, and that could have been horizontal, so they might be right angle to what they were, right? But they're both sitting there like, if that was vertical construction, then that's pretty telling. We're going to do a little exploration of this gully to see if there's a tunnel in here, and then we're going to zip around this way and go down that way. Anyway, I want to show you this straight line seam and see what you think about it. So clearly this thing is a seam, right? And this too, right? Right next to it. Seamed material, and then no seam for many meters. So we have two straight line seams. Interesting. Just gotta get a couple photos. You know, a lot of straight line stuff happening. Straight line, very smooth sides, you know, layering, so you've got a really clear demarcation between that layer and the next. Super clear. It's not like it's joined, it's just stacked on it. And I've seen that in my Texas Geology video. If you search Texas Geology, Jock Doubleday channel, Geology's in quotes, because it's just concrete stacked on one another. That's about 60 miles from here. Super smooth side to that. Super smooth vertical side. Of course, that did come off. That did come down. The question is, was that horizontal or is that a vertical seam? It just looks like concrete to me. This all looks like concrete. I mean, you know, it's just that looks like concrete, you know. Very smooth. What we're looking at right now is super smooth, right? Then you got this thing. What's that doing there? Super straight lines everywhere you look, super straight. So we have this incredible straight line construction. And then we got this seam right here that goes all the way like that, and like that. That's the primary structure. Then there's the first layer. But this is stacked. It's stacked. So you can see it. Stacked on top. Right there. Stacked on top and stacked to the side. So you can see that this layer is just sitting on top of this layer. And it looks like there used to be material on this whole layer, but there's the remnants of it. Then you look at that structure over there, which is the main enchanted rock, and you see the same kind of thing. You can see the layers, you know? You see that main layer there on top. Pretty amazing. It's just coming out little by little. Straight line seams, super straight lines, and it's coming out. There's the straight line seam, boom, all the way up. Another one there, and it's just coming out. You know, it's stacked on. It's not adhered. It's sort of just laid on top. Weird. Very weird. Straight line. House of Rothschild, red shield, hashtag red shield, dimming the skies by 10%, solar dimming. You can see that. Then there's this one, so it's already spreading. We wish there was some damn sun, you know, because we've had such a cold spell. But what we have is, even on a day where it's 70 degrees, suddenly it's cold again because they're dimming the skies with this crap. I mean, it's everywhere. It's really bad. Rothschild. They work for the Vatican, and the Vatican is the elongated skull ETs who came to Egypt to play God for thousands of years. And they're still in the Vatican. There's a few of them left here. And the level of evil that they have inherent in them is beyond anything that we have in our language to describe. The Rothschilds are like Satan. So that's one level of evil. That's like the highest level of evil that we have to describe Satan. But the elongated skull ETs that rule the Rothschilds and rule the planet, just a few of them that enslaved millennia of people on the planet and still enslave us. The level of evil is beyond our words. We don't have a word for it, so we'll have to think up a word for them. We can see one of the last tourists walking there. You can see him. That's a person. So we're heading back that way, and we see this straight line seam again. So it's like, so we have this, right? Well, I call it concrete. And it just keeps going. Keeps on going. And you're like, what is that doing there? Straight line seam. I've got these from South Africa to Bosnia. We know that the straight line seams in the concrete hills of Bosnia are artificial, and they're just exactly like this. This to me is like clear evidence of artificial building. I'll insert some photos from Bosnia, maybe I'll insert a video clip just to get some context for this madness. We're here at Butsi, a little tiny borough, a little town. And the ancients had a way of making concrete that is really, really hard. It's the hardest documented concrete on the planet, and it's right here on this hill. So we know it's a built hill. You can see the layers of the concrete here. Amazing. Yeah, it's going to be really hard. It's not going to be crumbly. It's really, really hard concrete. South side of the Temple of Mother Earth. So here we are walking back north, and we see this concrete that's been excavated for the road. And you say, but this could be natural concrete. No. And how do we know it's not natural? Because we see the straight line seam. We always see this, right? It's sectioning. The ancients sectioned their concrete. It's always a straight line seam everywhere you go. Croatia, South Africa, Bosnia, quartz calcite veins. Sectioning. 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 They say that could be natural, that could be, oops, straight line. No reason for Mother Nature to make a straight line. Sectioning. 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 So the ancients had limits to how much concrete they decided to pour. They stopped here and they did a section. Boom, straight up. They stopped here and they did another section. Were they precious about how it looked like the Romans might have been? No. Not here. They just wanted to get some concrete on their structure. I'm just going to go vertical and take a photo. Hold on. Straight line seams. You see it all over the world. And it makes you wonder how much of the world is built. Straight line seams all the way up. Watch. Boom. Section. Let me just go vertical, get that. These two seams meet. These two guys here meet right there. Quartz calcite. Section. Section. Right? Section. All the way up. Did they care that the section lines were not quite parallel? They didn't. They didn't care. Let me get a section, and of course there's the layers. Layer, 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 layer. Right? So you get layers and sections, layers and sections. Then we look at the sectioning and we go, looks like it might have had clay between it for earthquake mitigation. Maybe that's what that was for. Don't know. So all this is concrete, concrete, concrete. Sectioning. 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 Layers and sectioning. Rightward leaning here. For some reason. This quartz calcite vein is amazing. And it goes right into the same, it goes right into a section. So watch it go. Right there. And there's another section that comes and meets it. Right there. So there's the V of the two quartz calcite veins going over. It's absolutely amazing. It looks like There's mud, clay between those two sections. It's not clear if that came in later. Absolutely amazing, but you can see the regular, if not perfectly straight, but regular sectioning and smooth on this side, right? No reason for nature to do that. I don't enjoy saying that this is artificial, this pink stuff here. It doesn't make me happy. Doesn't do anything for me. Doesn't make me money, doesn't make me fame, doesn't make me... It might make me fame as an idiot, you know? I'm already in the douchebag hall of fame as an anti-vaxxer, so that's a badge of honor for me. But so saying that this is artificial, that this dome and that dome, those things are artificial, that doesn't help me in any way. It just takes my time, takes my energy. You know, this is taking my energy. But I think if it is artificial, we have evidence that it is, and we have evidence that material like this all around the world is artificial. And we're certain that it is in Bosnia. It's just like this. It's just that it's not pink. Then we have to say, well, that's important, right? Because if this is artificial, then we go, who built it, you know? Were they our genetic ancestors? Were they our genetic engineers? Because if you look at Michael Tellinger's Slave Species of God, you see we have been tinkered with. Another straight line seam right here. Really straight. So, just saying, what's it doing here? Straight line seam, right along here, boom, boom, boom. Straight line seams, all the way, boom. Right up here, this would be a prime place for a tunnel entrance. Although we're actually up from the creek about 40 meters, 50 meters up from the creek already. Another straight line seam, right? Boom, another straight line seam over here. Right? Shwunk. Just keeps coming. Straight lines, straight lines, straight lines. That's weird. Oh, I guess it's just the remnants of the previous layer. I see. So we got more down there, yeah. So you can see that vein that goes a little bit to the right. How's it going?
How are you?
Super.
Awesome. So
that's a vein. Boom, interesting, right? If it's built, that is some megalithic architecture right there. Because those are mega rocks. Lithic means rock. Lithos is rock. See that? That's a straight line right there. I mean, the straight lines are everywhere. Nice and smooth side there. They got done with their construction on the left and went to the right. Straight lines. Boom. What for? It's hard to go anywhere. There's so much to take photos of, but you know, straight lines. That's just like in South Africa, just like this. Just like this. Interesting. So if it was constructed, the ancients said, okay, we're going to make the very top, the top foot or so, super strong, and the stuff below it, after millions of years, presumably, of being eroded more than the top. That whole thing is a layer. It's about 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall, right? 9 feet. Then at the very top, for the top foot, it's even stronger. Same with that. Same with that. And then you've got the layer below it. So if there is a tunnel system, it's like super protected, and that's the whole point, you know? That's the point. presumably they made their energetic structures like this, whether it's a pyramid or a dome or a tumulus above the tunnel system, and that would protect the tunnel system, you know, through the ages. And if you didn't find the entrance, I mean, you'd just never know. There'd just be no way for anybody to know that that was there. Of course, why they have the tunnels is a different thing, but we know there's a tunnel network all across the world, including North America. There's an amazing tunnel entrance in the Grand Canyon, and I'll put a photo here. Stanton's Cave, they call it. They don't want you to think it's a tunnel. They want you to think it's a cave. It's obviously a tunnel. It's really, really high too. It's built for giants. So it's a tunnel built for giants, and they call it a cave. You got to wonder how old this is, because for that whole layer to have eroded, see that layer right there? That eroded across this entire thing. I mean, it's a, you know, and then went down here and then became this rubble, and then became little sand, and then it's called Sandy Creek. So how many millions of years did it take for that layer, you know, to completely come off? That's a long time, right? So that is a long time. So one could say we're complete latecomers on the scene. We're not the first, we're the last. Straight line seam. Straight line seam, but that can't be. Well, there it is, you know. Straight line. Boom. Straight line. Okay. Boom. 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 Just getting photos. Okay. And then, you know, nothing. There's no seams anywhere in that. And then suddenly it's like, boom, straight line. Okay. Suddenly, a seam, straight line. Why? There's still a chance we could find a tunnel down here. With the last rays of sun, straight line seam. Just there it is, you know. And you can see the top again is stronger. The very top, I don't know. Let's see what that is. It's over a foot. It's stronger. It's about a foot. It's about 12 inches that's stronger. And then it erodes from there. Needle in a haystack archaeology, trying to find these prehistoric tunnels. But with an energetic structure like this, and I'm pretty sure it's built, you know, so if they did build this, then they're definitely going to have tunnels below it. So that's why I'm spending my time here, straight line seam. Oh, this isn't a building site? It's just a natural concrete, natural granite site? Okay, but what's that? What's going on there? And, you know, let's see. Boom. I'll put my foot in there just for reference, just so people can see how big the stones are. More straight lines. I mean, you know, really? This is crazy. Straight lines everywhere you go. Boom, boom. So millions of years of erosion, but we still have evidence of the building. the seams. There's a little signpost. So you see that layer that's coming off slowly but surely. It's just slipping down. The pinker layer is slipping down off the stained layer. Interesting. Huh. Gotta kind of wonder why the top layer isn't stained, you know. Why is the bottom layer stained? Straight line seam. Boom, you see it? Boom, right in the center. Boom, everywhere. It just keeps going, and there's a channel. I want to find some enchanted tunnels. Instead of what we found is straight line seams everywhere we go. Right? Everywhere we go, straight line seams. Here's another one. So, it's just endless. Straight line seam. So instead of a tunnel, we found straight line seams in what looks to be concrete material. They call it pink granite. And I call it crystalline concrete. How about that? Pink crystalline concrete. Yeah. Let's call it that instead. With straight line seams. And layers that are distinct. Discrete layers, not joined to the next layer, but distinct layers that just come straight off. They slip right off because they're distinct layers. So I guess I'm the last car in the parking lot, and that's fine. This is Jock Doubleday reporting from the ancient pink crystalline concrete structure known as Enchanted Rock. Hope you have a scientific day.